So good to go?
Yes,
Yeah,
please start.
no,
Okay.
the
Good
speaker is
afternoon.
muted.
I welcome you all to the 7 days development program titled Mindsets, Knowledge Sets and Skill Sets for 21st Century Youth, Innovations and Adaptations. To begin with, we have Mindsets, where we have amongst us Captain Richik Sinha Roy for the session namely Mind Matters, 3 Secrets to Master the Successful Mindset. Captain Richik Sinha Roy is a serving Indian Territorial Army officer with 11 Gorkha Rifles. He has served in various counter-terrorism roles in the Northeast. He is also the director of youth programs for the Art of Living, looking after a network of 10,000 Art of Living trainers with a reach of 2 lakh students per year. Having graduated from National University of Singapore with a double degree in engineering and technopreneurship, he has corporate work experience of 5 years before choosing to follow his passion and serve with the Indian Army like his father. During his training at Indian Military Academy, Captain Richik graduated as the best officer student and was awarded the prestigious Netaji Subhash Chandra Medal for Best Officer Cadet Medal. He is also a faculty with the Art of Living and has taught meditation to thousands of people across India. We also have amongst us Dr. C.A. Sharma, Coordinator IQAC. I would like Dr. Sharma to share a few words before we begin the session. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. All right, it is a great pleasure that we have Mr. Richik Sinha Roy here with us. And these are the difficult times. Whenever we start conversation these days, whether with the family members or friends or professionals, the first thing that comes to mind is only one: Corona, lockdown,
Hmm.
the trouble getting in connection, getting connected, fear of getting infected, fear of COVID-19, and so on. This is really a very testing time for us, and all of us need ways, means, methods, and support so that we can keep and maintain our balance. Keeping this in view, we, the Shri Ram College of Commerce, IQAC cell, and Atman cell of Shri Ram College of Commerce decided to have this 7-day webinar series so that we can call in learned people like Mr. Richik Sinha Roy here and gain something from him for the purposes of maintaining our balance, our mind and body, because that is something which is most important. It is the fear which kills us. It is not the trouble as such, but the fear of the trouble, fear of the disease, fear of career, fear of not being able to connect, fear of isolation, fear of fear of human beings. I mean, when we go to the shop these days, we always try to, we are advised to keep distance. We are trained to love, we are trained to be loved. And here we are being taught that you have to remain away from the loved ones. So, how to handle this? So, this is something which is of paramount significance. And I am really very thankful to uh, Mr. Richik Sinha Roy to have agreed to come here. And I'm also thankful to the team, Shri Ram College of Commerce, Dr. Shikha, Ms. Suman, Mr. Gaurav Rana, and Varda Sardana, who have been working day and night to make this program successful. I welcome you, Mr. Richik Sinha Roy, to have agreed to have agreed to come here and taken time out of your busy schedule. I do sincerely hope that all of us will get benefited with your discourse here. And I now invite you in. Please come in, Mr. Richik Sinha Roy.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a
Thank you so
wonderful
much, sir.
introduction. Thank you so much, Suman ma'am. I think you've already given me such a glowing introduction. And also, thank you so much to
Thank you,
the
sir.
Internal Quality Assurance Cell and Atman and Shikha ma'am and Sharma sir for giving me this platform. I am feeling so privileged that I am getting a chance to share with the students and faculty of SRCC which everybody knows is one of the most premier colleges in the country. So I hope I am able to do justice to this. And usually, like sir rightly mentioned, I hate doing discourses because it's much better if I can see you. But the webinar platform that we're using, I am unfortunately forced to do a discourse. I can see on the attendee list, I see Ayush, I see Rohit, Bhagyashri. Hi, I see Arzu, great, Abhay. There's so many, there are already 129 participants. I know I cannot see you guys, but I'm so glad that you made the time to join in. And before I quickly start, I'll just request if you can see this, if you can just answer this poll. I'm going to launch this poll for you guys so that I know that who I'm talking to. So it's just a quick poll so that I get to know that whether you're a faculty or a student. So I hope you guys can see that. Okay, great. So I see some responses coming in. Okay, fantastic. Great. So I'm seeing a 50-50 distribution right now.
I am not able to see. Maybe because
sir,
they have put in
I think this is only open to the attendees, sir. So I think that is the reason why. And I can see that initially all the students who are tech savvy started typing first. So the student percentage was 70, but I see the faculty catching up. Okay, great. I think I'm going to stop this. I think 74% of the audience has voted. The remaining also, if you can just quickly, this is the only way I can find out if you're on the computer or is just the camera on and you're voting the attendance for this seminar. Okay, great. Some more people are voting. Okay, that's it. I'm going to close the vote here. Great. So right now what I see is that I have got a even 50-50 distribution, 53% students and 47% faculty. Now this makes my job even harder because एक कोई भी चीज बोलो और वो faculty और students दोनों agree करे बहुत मुश्किल है मेरे लिए भी but I'll give it an honest shot. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hide this right now and let's start with this session, right? So like sir rightly said, I'm going to talk about mind matters. He spoke about this COVID and he spoke about fear, and these are some of the things that I want to touch upon today. So I hope you guys enjoy this. So right now let me just quickly see if you guys can see my screen. Right now you guys can see the screen. I have no way of knowing this, but maybe one of the faculty members can tell me, is my screen visible on the computer right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I'm going to move on. So somewhere in that brilliant introduction, what might get missed out is this, right? So you guys already heard that I got a double degree from National University of Singapore. So way back in 2007, when I'd given my 12th boards, I had got 95%. I know that is no big deal in front of SRCC students. कि आप लोग के तो अभी cut off is like 98, 99, maybe 100. It's just insane. But in 2007, it was still quite a big deal. काफी था कि हाँ 95% आया. So there were only 30 students in the entire India who were selected to, for this scholarship and go and study in National University of Singapore. So obviously I was on top of the world. You're living that dream. जो parents बोलते हैं ना कि बेटा class 12 का board exam दे दे उसके बाद तो ऐसी ऐसे. So that dream and that lie. I also suddenly was high on that. I went to Singapore, but somewhere in my second year I suddenly realized कि ये तो मतलब this is not true, right? After 12th, it's not that you're in the best college and everything is okay. I suddenly realized that मैं engineering कर रहा हूँ, पर मुझे engineering में कुछ भी interest नहीं है, right? Like most engineering students in the country sometimes face. And being from an India background where your parents are allowed to beat you, so ऐसा भी option नहीं था कि like Bill Gates मैंने graduation छोड़ दिया और अपना company शुरू किया. So I had to persevere, finish the degree, and somewhere I lost the motivation. As you can see in this photograph, I was 115 kilos. I did not know कि मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ, why am I even doing this degree, क्या करना है, what is this mind? That is when this question started coming to me कि ये मन का क्या है that you can have the best of it but still it's not happy, you're seeking happiness elsewhere. कुछ भी कर रहे हो तो लग रहा है कि नहीं कुछ और है. So I'm sure you guys also experience this, that even if you're as a faculty or as a student in SRCC, आपको लगता हो कि नहीं यार मतलब things are not so hunky dory just because I'm in SRCC, right? So this is that quest that I went on, and I did the Art of Living course, like I was introduced as an Art of Living trainer. So I'll tell you more about that. And suddenly I started getting answers to these questions, that why is the mind the way it is. This human mind, it has the capacity to store every single bit of information available on the internet. है ना, जो वेब पे जो सारा इंफॉर्मेशन है जो आपका गूगल सर्च करता है, आपका ब्रेन इज इतना केपेबल है कि हर एक सिंगल बिट उसको स्टोर कर सकता है. अनफॉर्चुनेट थिंग इज द माइंड डज नॉट कम विद अ मैनुअल. And here suddenly, I found this manual to the course, and I did a lot of scientific research about why it works that way. And I discovered, and then eventually, I joined the army. And this is 2018, when I graduated from Indian Military Academy, and I was the best officer cadet. It was a Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose officer cadet. So I got this award. So apart from the physical transformation, ये जो एक mental journey था, and these three secrets of the mind that I discovered, which I really feel is very important to share with you, and I want to share this with you guys. So if I hope this was good. So I'm again quickly going to share a poll with you guys, and let me see. Just give me a sec. Let me figure this out. Suddenly, I'm not being able to see the polls anymore. Just 1 second. Yeah, can somebody help me? Okay, I think this is where it is. Okay, great. So, okay, right. So I'm going to quickly launch this poll for you. So if you think that this is something that sounds exciting and you want me to share these three secrets, please reply a yes or no. Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm seeing some great results here. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm just going to quickly share this again with you. So I see that there is that 1% no. That's fine. That's fine. No issues. I'm guessing you are that category who is here for the attendance and the certificate. Never mind. Even that is okay with me. Okay. So now I'm going to quickly move on to the next part. Right? So I'm going to tell you the first secret that I discovered. Right. So I'm going to share my screen again. Right. So now you guys can see my screen, right? Okay. So now since you can see my screen, so I have told you about me. So the first secret, the first thing that I discovered about the mind, which was really very interesting for me, is something called as the dopamine dupe, right? So I'll just quickly read this out to you. Netflix gives you 15 seconds between episodes to decide if you're doing anything with your life today. ये आपने देखा होगा ना, that every time, I mean, especially the students here, although I know that right now even the faculty, it is amazing that with this COVID, kitna jaldi. So like you guys heard, I'm also the National Youth Programs Coordinator. So across India, 80% colleges have been able to adopt this online system. They're having classes on Zoom, on GoToWeb, and teachers, faculty members who are supposedly, there's a learning curve to technology, but it's just amazing how you guys have adopted this technology. We're even going and conducting online exams. So I know that a lot of you are also watching Netflix at home. So for the faculty and students, you remember every time you watch an episode on Netflix. Okay, let me see if I have that poll here as well. Okay, before I go to this, I just quickly want to know, and I know all of you must be watching something on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hotstar. So I just quickly made a list of the TV series that are popular in India right now, and you guys see this poll. So can you just quickly tell me which TV series are you guys watching? Mahabharata, Money Heist, Patal Lok, The Good Old Friends, the eternal favorite, and of course there are so many I couldn't cover, so I gave that others category. Great, I see 50% of the audience has already voted. Fantastic. Great, very nice. 60. I'm just going to wait for 5 more seconds. Okay, great stuff. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you guys. So very interestingly, Ramayana and Mahabharata seems to be the most popular. Good, yeah. See, this is great. This is really great to know. Friends, the eternal favorite has shut down. Money Heist and Patal Lok now has become very popular, and of course, everything else that you guys are sharing. Great stuff. Thank you so much for sharing, guys. So now you guys will know, right? So whenever you watch this episode of Netflix, have you noticed जब भी वो episode खत्म होता है, तो on the right side there is this button next episode. And आपने देखा कैसे आपका मन ललचा जाता है कि बस एक और बटन दबाओ and let me watch the next episode. I hope you can relate to this. So this is what I meant by this slide. And this is this dopamine in your brain that's asking you to act in that way. Right? So dopamine, so there are 4 neurotransmitters which are responsible for your happiness. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. So I'm only going to talk to you about dopamine and serotonin. So now this dopamine neurotransmitter gets activated every single time you do something that's pleasurable. Like, of course, Netflix is there. But apart from Netflix, whenever you eat that piece of gulab jamun, or whenever you're doing shopping, I'm sorry, I know the ladies in the audience have not been able to shop for a long time, but shopping, whenever you buy a new iPhone, when you're going on a visit, right, every time you do something that's pleasurable, the latest and the most, I think the source of pleasure is your social media, right? Share that Instagram story where you've got 100 likes, or just checking out the Disha Patani's workout. So this is, every time you do something like this, it is activating dopamine in your brain, right? It gives you that sensation of pleasure. The problem with dopamine is that every time you feel this pleasure, it associates with one more factor, which is I want more, right? The problem with pleasure, it is never enough, which is why every time you're having a piece of gulab jamun, before you finish it, your mind goes to that bowl of 4 more gulab jamuns. कि एक और तो चलता है, right? You buy a new phone, within 3 months, the next iPhone model comes. यार चलता है यार, let's get one more. Doesn't matter, देखा जाएगा 90,000 rupees kidney बेच के, but let me get that iPhone. Shopping, when you're going to Charles and Keep, एक और ले लेते हैं. I don't know when I'm going to use these boots, but let me just buy it. Have you seen this tendency of I want more is the dopamine in your brain, which is constantly craving pleasure. The problem what has happened is that suddenly in this generation, what has happened is we have started equating this pleasure to happiness. Suddenly life has become a race about पैकेज क्या है, 50 लाख है एसआरसीसी में, लाइक 50 lakhs कितने गाड़ी है, कितने बार तुम छुट्टी गए हो, आर यू ट्रैवलिंग, राइट, घर कितना बड़ा है, घर पे कितने मेड्स है, राइट? हैव यू सीन दिस, दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दिस डोपामाइन व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इज we have started to go on a wild goose chase for happiness, right? Do you see this? This is what is the difference. So we have started different, equating pleasure to happiness, right? So I'm just going to stop the share because it's a very distracting this thing, so they can look at me. So there is this story which I really love to share. So in America there was this very famous psychologist. So now this psychologist के पास एक दिन एक patient आता है. So this patient comes and says, doctor, I have got everything. I am successful. Whatever I wanted, I've achieved. People know me. I'm also famous. But doctor, I am depressed. I really don't know why I feel so empty inside. मेरे को अंदर से खुशी का महसूस ही नहीं होता. मैं क्या करूं? Can you give me some treatment? So the doctor looked at his file and he said, आपका तो सब कुछ ठीक है. Everything seems normal. You're so successful. You have no reason to be sad. You should be very happy. I think you've just taken life too seriously. I'll tell you what. Today evening, a very, very famous comedian is in town, right? He's giving a show. I have a spare ticket. Why don't you come with me? और इसके शो में ये इतना अच्छा स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करता है कि इसके शो में आप बैठेंगे तो आप एकदम 1 घंटे के बाद आप भूल जाओगे कि आप कभी दुखी थे. So the patient looks at the doctor, with very, very sad eyes, and he starts laughing. And he has this sad laugh, and he tells the doctor, "Doctor, you know what? The comedian you're talking about, that is me." Right? So I found this story very, very, it gave me the chills, because it is one thing to be successful. It is one thing to be able to make others laugh. It is a completely different thing to be happy inside. Right? So I hope this is something you can relate to. So this is that dopamine in your brain that is telling you that no, there's something more. Nothing is ever enough. Right? So the problem why it works this way is because somewhere your brain knows that addictive pleasure isn't the same as true happiness. Now dopamine, if you look to the slide, you'll see that it only has 5 receptor points. So which is why it feels incomplete. So which is why you give in to the dopamine, you watch 6 episodes of Netflix, or you have had 4 gulab jamuns. I can assure you at the end of it, you are not going to be feeling happy. You're going to be feeling guilty. There's this space in head that says, no, yaar, I didn't do right. Maybe this is not happiness. Many times at the end of the day you will see कि जब आप सोने जा रहे तो लगा कि यार आज का दिन बहुत बिजी था, इतना फोन पे मैंने बात किया, सोशल मीडिया देखा, काम किया, but it was not a productive day. This is that dopamine in your brain. On the other side, there is this hormone or a neurotransmitter called serotonin. Now this serotonin, as you can see on your screen, this has got 14 different receptor points in the brain. I'll just quickly share this. Yeah. So now this is that real happiness hormone which is felt all over the brain. And how do you activate serotonin in your brain? Now surprisingly, again, a catch word of today, depression. So depression simply means your brain has forgotten to create serotonin in your system, right? This is what leads to depression. There are some things called as that serotonin uptake inhibitors, which is the first medication for depression, where your brain forgets to translate serotonin. One of the reasons why there's a major research going on is because serotonin gets secreted when you do something for somebody without wanting anything in return. Like social service is a great way to do serotonin. It makes you feel good, right? Really good. This is a mother's happiness when her son has got admission into SRCC. तू खुश है ना? मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए. This is that grandmother's happiness जो सुबह से उनके हाथ में दर्द है, घुटने में दर्द है, but she has prepared 14 dishes for you and she has those tears of happiness where तूने वो खाना खाया, मैं खुश हूँ, वो मेहनत सब कुछ चलता है as long as you are happy. So this, when you can do this, suddenly your brain is full of serotonin. For the teachers, I attended a conference of educators where they were sharing that there is no greater pride for a teacher than to know that his or her student has achieved something in life. Again, serotonin, right? So the real happiness is serotonin, but somehow as a generation we have gone into this dopamine induced cycle of that wild goose chase. We have forgotten that real happiness is in doing for others, right? So now अब क्या करें? Now once we know this, so अब ऐसे तो नहीं कर सकते कि suddenly सब कुछ छोड़ छाड़ दिया आपने केवल सोसाइटी के पीछे you go into social service. See, again, dopamine is also not a bad hormone. Dopamine is what gives you desire. It is what gives you motivation. आपके brain में dopamine है, so you're motivated. I want that job. I want that promotion, right? So what do you do? How do you really keep the balance and not equate this dopamine to happiness, right? This is where I realized why after doing the course, I was suddenly feeling so much happier. I was like, suddenly I was off this dopamine cycle, because what research shows? Research is showing that when you are meditating, it elevates these dopamine levels in your brain by 64%, right? And what is an obvious fallout from this? Suddenly you are not craving for Netflix. You're not craving for gulab jamun. This is the secret to concentration, by the way. The reason why when you study, when you open that book and your exam is far away and it's constantly your mind is on Money Heist or Mahabharat Ramayana is because of this dopamine, right? And not only that, this is the real gist of it, which really like blew my mind, that suddenly why I call it a mind hack. So how the mind works, the more you go behind pleasure, the more empty it is. The more you do for others, you really feel happy. This is the science of the brain, right? Because of your dopamine and serotonin. But suddenly when you do Sudarshan Kriya, now the Sudarshan Kriya is a technique that you can only learn on the Art of Living program. It is a copyrighted program that is only taught. And when I did this, suddenly you're hacking the brain. And it's like you are taking a pill which is suddenly, activating serotonin in your brain. So 60 independent studies are showing that when you're doing a Sudarshan Kriya, it elevates the serotonin levels in your brain without having to do anything. Suddenly you start feeling a lot more content, a lot more happy, right? So this is that brilliant mind hack that really, and this is something I experienced when I did the course afterwards, when I suddenly started feeling a lot happier. And then I went into the science and research of this, and this is what I discovered, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. So some of the key takeaways is that yes, if you really want to go towards that happiness, you need to start doing things for others. Maybe our Indian society was not so wrong when we were living in a community, when we were living in joint families, because you're constantly doing for others, because maybe that is the way to go. And maybe the reason why the more and more we are pushing towards this, I want more, that is where we are losing that touch with that happiness, right? So this is one takeaway. Second takeaway is that yes, so for dopamine also, once you know this, it makes sense to figure out ways. You can just go online and see how to get out of this dopamine cycle, right? Or you can come into the course. I'll tell you about the course where we teach you how to come out of these cycles. Okay. So now that takes me to the second secret. Let me see if I have a poll for you. Okay, so now this is done. So now let me tell you the second secret. So I hope this was good. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Before I go on to the second secret, now this is again very, very interesting. When I learned about this, it blew my mind. So the second secret is something called as the fight or flight response. Right? How many of you have heard about this? Do I have a poll on this? Let me just check. Okay, I think the poll is too late, but let me see. Since I have this poll, I'll just quickly get some interaction going. So you guys heard about dopamine and serotonin. How many of you knew about this before this call? Yeah, great. Okay. Okay, great. I have got more than 58% votes. I'm just going to share it so I can move on. It's so nice. I'm so glad that all of you are participating here. I already see 70% have voted. Fantastic. I'm just going to wait for a few more seconds. It's really nice. This is the only way I know that you guys are on the computer and listening. Great stuff. Okay, so I have got about 75% votes, I think, right now. 71. Okay, so I'm going to close it. And okay, so I see, great. I see that a lot of people have already heard about this. Wow, like SRCC, like, are you guys doing a biology course by the side or something like that? Really nice. Really good to know that you guys have heard about this, right? So this is the results. Okay, great. Wonderful. So now I'm going to move on to the next part of the presentation, the second secret, which is this fight or flight mode. Right? So what is this really? This is something that is hardwired in our DNA. Right? From prehistoric times, when the biggest threat to man was, his existence, a lot of physical threat. Suddenly, this looks very funny, but imagine a panther really chasing you in real life. Right now, you look at COVID. There is so much of research going on to find the race to find the cure. But in those times, just one common cold or a mosquito bites, and thousands of people are dying. They don't even know what's happening. So this brain had this system called as a fight or flight response, that every time there is a physical threat, your body comes into this fight or flight response. It's preparing the body to either run away from the situation and preserve yourself, or to fight. So this innate need of man to preserve himself or herself is by the fight or flight mode. So every time you feel threatened, how do you preserve yourself? Either you fight and you win, like, if you're hungry, then you might have to turn back and chase that panther, or you run to save yourself, right? So this is really good, because what happens in the fight or flight response, as you can see on the screen, is your breathing becomes very fast, your heart starts pumping more blood, your stomach becomes inactive, and it's pumping blood to your hands and legs because it's getting ready for action. Sweat starts increasing, and this is really great. It's really great that you have this in your body. Okay, I'm just going to quickly stop the share right now. You can see here. So it's really great that this system is there in your body, because every time you have a physical threat, it's fantastic. It pumps adrenaline and cortisol, this fight or flight mode. You would have heard this, that many times when you're feeling threatened, एकदम से पता नहीं कहाँ से शक्ति आ जाता है. You get that strength. If a dog is behind you, suddenly you start running faster. This is because of that fight or flight mode. Now, as an army officer, I can tell you that this is the reason why we can do our job. So I was posted in the Northeast. I am posted in the Northeast, in fact. So over where I was posted over there are 7-8 terrorist camps in just a 5-kilometer radius. तो हम लोग जब चलते थे, we do not know कहाँ से कौन निकल आएगा, and you could see your body is in fight or flight mode. You are very alert, you are very aware, you can feel your heart beating, and every time even a leaf shakes, suddenly your gun is going to go there. You're just taking attention there. So it's great, right? But the real problem is कि अगर आप खतरों के खिलाड़ी नहीं हैं, in real life, the threat is no longer physical. The threat has shifted from being physical to being mental, right? What is the threat today? If you're a student, you will recognize this. Every time you go for an interview, or you go for a viva, or you're supposed to get onto stage and present to 200 students, have you seen the same symptoms activate? Your hands and legs start shaking, sweating, पेट में गुदगुदी because the gut has become inactive. Your heart rate quickens. You see that shallow breathing. This is nothing but your fight or flight response. because your brain has suddenly forgotten that the threat is not physical anymore. It just activates the same response, right? And it's okay to have stage fear. You can still overcome it. But this is the concept, and this is the reason behind stress, right? So remember, sir was talking about this fear, right? Every time you feel fearful, आप बाहर जाएंगे तो किसी से कोरोना हो जाएगा, इस कोरोना के इस लॉकडाउन के बाद विल आई हैव माय जॉब और नॉट, अगर आपको ऑफर मिल चुका है तो ऑफर होगा कि नहीं, कैसे हम एग्जाम शेड्यूल करेंगे, इफ यू एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर ऑन एसआरसीसी इट मस्ट बी रियली वरीसम बिकॉज़ यू हैव टू गिव द डिग्रीज, ऑनलाइन एग्जाम्स लेने हैं, ऑनलाइन एग्जाम कितना डिफिकल्ट करे, एज अ स्टूडेंट आपको पता नहीं कि एग्जाम होगा नहीं होगा, आपको जो जॉब मिली है वो मिलेगी नहीं मिलेगी. सो दिस फियर, द मोमेंट योर बॉडी फील्स फियर, danger, it immediately activates fight or flight mode, which leads to stress, right? So the cortisol in your body is not the stress hormone, again, is a byproduct of this fight or flight. So anxiety, stress, you know, that not knowing what is going to happen in the future, everything comes back to this fight or flight mode, right? Luckily, very luckily, your body also has something called as the rest or digest response, right? So let me just quickly share my screen again. Oh, I think my screen was still on. Okay, great. So 1 second. I thought I'd switch off. So now luckily you have, this is called the sympathetic nervous system, and the rest and digest response is the absolute opposite. This is the parasympathetic nervous system. So now in this, what happens is that your pupils shrink, right? Suddenly your breathing relaxes, your heart rate slows down. This is activated every time your brain feels that, okay, I am in an environment where there is no danger. When you are with your loved ones, and I know I'm saying this, maybe not right of me, but अगर आप गोवा में है, पता नहीं कब, maybe a couple of months down the line, लेकिन आप बीच में बैठे हैं, enjoying the sound of the waves. My personal favorite, Rishikesh, right? Ganga Kinare. Like I know Delhi mein my favorite weekend trip was just pick up the car, drive to Rishikesh, just sit and enjoy the sound of Ganges. Right? This is my to-do thing. So this, whenever you are doing something you love doing, your body goes into parasympathetic nervous system. Right? So now, okay, so the moment danger, you have your sympathetic nervous system. The moment you're relaxed, you have parasympathetic nervous system. So then how do you really face an interview being relaxed? Like, how do you deal with this stress? How can you turn off this fight or flight mode at will? Right? This again, very interestingly, I'm going to teach you. So again, you know, it has got to do with meditation. So if you see this, you know, there is this nerve in your brain which is called the vagus nerve. Right? So every time you meditate, what happens is this vagus nerve gets activated, and this is the main nerve in your body which is touching your lungs, your heart, your stomach, and it is what is responsible for activating the rest and digest response. So suddenly, if you have a technique by which you can activate the rest and digest response at will, so you can go for an interview feeling the same. And very interestingly, meditation is that technique. Not only that, the Sudarshan Kriya, again, that is taught on the course, scientific studies, this cortisol, which is that stress, right? This fight or flight is not nice. It is, अभी देखो लॉकडाउन में सबसे बड़ा ये है that, you know, आप जो हम लोग, that dopamine cycle that we had, कि कितने गाड़ी है, आपका job offer कितना है, like how are you going to the shopping mall, that was the dependency on happiness is suddenly gone. Suddenly you see your happiness is all about कि रात को चैन की नींद सो पा रहे क्या, right? अभी जैसे very interestingly जब चाइना में लॉकडाउन खुला, so this about 3 weeks back it had opened, so all the divorce rate suddenly shot up by 80%. So these couples, मियाँ बीवी ने कभी सीखा नहीं था कि घर में कैसे रहते. So if there were 50 divorces, suddenly 90 divorces were happening in a day. And I know अभी भी इंडिया में I have addressed so many people. I know that there's a lot more argument that would happening. You know, you're cooped up in the same house. So ये जो है ना, that how to deal with this fight or flight response, how to be calm. The secret is this, you know, that cortisol that is being released in your brain because of fight or flight mode, it is coming down because of Sudarshan Kriya. Right? So I want to teach this to you. So there are two ways of doing it. One is meditation and the other is a breathing technique. So I want to teach both to you, but I know, you know, that there are these concepts that we have about meditation. The moment I speak meditation in an audience, suddenly people are like, really meditate at this age? And I am like, yeah. So, you know, once I was giving a talk and there was this 40-year-old man, right? He's already very accomplished. So I'm telling him that, you know, it's a good idea to learn to meditate. And he's like, what? I'm just 40, bro. You know, I've still got 15 years in me. I'm going to meditate once I'm 55. so this concept that we have of meditation, trust me, I just showed you guys, you know, there's so much of 15 years back I was on the same boat as you guys. जब मैं NUS में था, somebody told me that, you know, that you have to do this course. I laughed at his face. I was like, really? I'm already so successful. I'm in NUS. I don't need somebody to teach me how to be happy. But then, you know, nowadays there is so much of research available as to how this meditation is changing, right? It's helping you go into that serotonin mode. It's helping you come into this rest and digest response at will, right? So I really want to teach that to you guys. So I want to ask this to you, right? If you guys want to learn this, so let me just quickly again open a poll. So do you want to learn a technique that will help you activate this rest and digest at will? So if you guys want to do this, then I can do it. Otherwise, we can move on. Okay, great, fantastic. So I'm so glad that I am seeing so many yeses. Fantastic, great stuff. So that gives me a validation that what I'm saying is making sense to you. That's so great. Okay, awesome. I already see 70% have voted. I'll just wait for 5 more seconds. Okay, I am done. I think 70% have already voted, so I'm going to stop this right now. Okay, great. So because 98% are saying that it's something you want to do, so we'll do it. So I require this commitment from you guys, right? So I'm just going to yeah, so I'm going to focus back on me right now. So I'm going to require this commitment that if you really want to see this rest and digest mode activated at will, so आप अगले 10 minutes, it's just going to take me 10 minutes to do it. Please give me that commitment that, you know, keep your phone off, right, so that nobody disturbs you, and let's do this with the eyes closed, right? It's not so complicated, it's very simple. I'll be giving instructions, so you just need to follow these instructions and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, 10 minutes. I hope that you guys can see this, just experience this once and you'll be amazed at what it can do for you. Okay, great. So first thing first, I want you to take your right hand and put it on your stomach, right? Just put it on your stomach, and I want you to take a deep breath in and see whether your stomach is going out or is it coming in. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in and breathe out. Okay, so two things can happen, right? When you're breathing in, either your stomach goes out or your stomach comes in, right? Now both are not right. We're all human beings here. I hope Sarah is called पे humans hai. So you know, and I hope all of you are breathing because it's very easy to forget sometimes that we are breathing, right? केवल उस समय याद आता है जब अचानक लिफ्ट काम नहीं कर रहा है या पीछे एक wild dog is there, वो मैं सांस भी ले रहा हूँ. So this breath, if it is coming inside, if your stomach is coming inside when you're breathing in, you're not breathing the right way, right? When you're breathing in, your lungs expand, your diaphragm pushes the stomach downwards, which forces the stomach to come out. So never mind, we are doing the call right now, and this is so important, you know, because you food up deklo, you have, maybe if you're like me, you can have 2 kilos, but if you're dieting, if you're on those fat diets or what name of the diets, you know, there is this keto diet and, you know, all those diets that you guys are, you know, it's so much in vogue. Then maybe you're eating 300 grams. Water, if you're healthy, you're having 4 to 5 liters of water, else maybe 2 to 3 liters, right? So but look at air, right? When we are breathing in, you guys will be shocked to know that we breathe in 10,000 liters of air every single day, right? This breath is the way to get rid of all the toxins in your body. 90% of your body's toxins are released through the breath. So if you're not breathing right, just imagine what it's doing to your immune system. So from here on, we'll be conscious. Zabardasti nahi karna hai. It'll happen on its own that when you're breathing in, just notice that your stomach is coming out. Okay. So 10 minutes. Remember, from now on, we'll just close our eyes and make sure that nobody disturbs you. If there's somebody at home, just tell them that 10 minutes, let me be. Okay. Okay. So before we start, let's just quickly get some blood flowing. We've been sitting and listening to me for half an hour now. थोड़ा सा एक बार, let's just get the blood flowing. Shake your hands. You can maybe shake your shoulders a little bit. Let the blood flow on your shoulders. You can shake your head and relax. Okay, let's close our eyes. So from here on, just the next 10 minutes, keep your eyes closed, right? No matter what happens, Just keep your eyes closed and let's see what happens. Normal deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the sounds in the environment. अपने वातावरण की ओर सजग हो जाए. It could be the sound of the fan, the sound of the AC. अगर कोई टीवी देख रहा है या बात कर रहा है तो उसका आवाज. हो सकता है ट्रैफिक का आवाज हो. Whatever sounds are there around you, just become aware and accept them. सारे आवाजों को स्वीकार कर ले. लंबी गहरी सांस अंदर और जाने दे. Let us become aware of the body. अभी हम शरीर की ओर सजग हो जाते हैं. Let us take our attention to the feet. Without much effort, just take your mind to your feet. बिना ज्यादा परिश्रम के पाँव में ध्यान ले जाए. Become aware of the knees, the thighs, the hips. Deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the stomach, the chest, shoulders, the arms, the hands, throat. Just take a deep breath in and breathe out. Become aware of the face, and the top of the head. एक और लंबी गहरी सांस अंदर और जाने दे. Now let us become aware of our thoughts. अपने विचारों की ओर सजग हो जाए. whether good thoughts or bad thoughts. Just let them come. Do not resist any thoughts. जो भी विचार आ रहे हैं अच्छे हो या बुरे हो उनको आने दे. लंबी गहरी सांस अंदर और जाने दे. Just accept all the thoughts in the mind. Let us now become aware of our feelings. अपनी भावनाओं की ओर सतर्क हो जाए. Whether you're feeling good or you're feeling bad, just accept that feeling. Deep breath in and breathe out. You are peace. You are joy. आप ही सुख है और आप ही शांति भी है. एक और लंबी गहरी सांस अंदर और जाने दे. Very slowly become aware of our body. Become aware of the environment. Deep long breath in and breathe out. And very slowly, whenever you feel complete. If your hands are sanitized, you may just rub them and put them on your eyes. Otherwise, you may just open your eyes. Welcome back. I hope that was good. Yeah, I'll just quickly see if I have a poll for this. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to share this poll. You can just tell me how you're feeling, right? You can be honest. That's absolutely fine. I know I cannot cover all the experiences over here, but whatever you're feeling, if nothing has happened, that's fine. If you're feeling calm, relaxed, peaceful, yeah, great. Very nice. It's so good. There were 153 people, and even now there are 149. It's really nice that everybody has done it so sincerely. Really, I can see that them addressing the faculty and students of SRCC. Very, very cool. So good to see that. Okay, so I think 60% have already voted. I'm just going to wait for 5 more seconds so that you guys can finish the vote. Okay, so I'm going to stop that right now. This is brilliant. So I'm just going to share the voting results with you. So you guys can see this yourself, right? So 48% are feeling more relaxed, 31% peaceful, 16% calm, about 4%. That's fine. Don't worry, guys. No, it's not so easy to meditate. Also, okay, great stuff. So I'm going to hide this now, but that's great, right? So now I'm just going to share my screen, and can you guys see my screen? Yes, you can. Okay, great. So did you just see how you guys showed this calm, relaxed, peaceful? This is nothing but your parasympathetic nervous system in action. Right? Just over the space of the last 5 to 10 minutes, we have been able to activate this rest and digest system at will. Right? This is something that is really worth learning. Right? Stress, overcoming fear, anxiety, that buzzwords of today, uh, stage fright, right? This is the secret of confidence. Suddenly, when you're going on stage and you can be in rest and digest mode, you will start feeling that confidence. It will go away. I've experienced this, so I'm sharing with you guys. And not only look at this, but like I showed you, this is all scientific. So in the US, for this COVID-19 anxiety, there were some 600 people who were quarantined. 300 of them were doing yoga and meditation. The other 300 were not. Immediately, these cortisol levels or that anxiety, it was showing a marked difference. Like 80%, the people who were doing yoga and meditation, they were showing less symptoms of this. J.K. Rowling has tweeted about this. Right? I hope I'm not that old कि आपको Harry Potter नहीं पता. So J.K. Rowling tweeted this just about 2 weeks back that she was showing the symptoms of COVID, and then she did this regulated breathing technique. Regulated breathing is nothing but pranayam. But the moment you say pranayam, it's like Baba Ramdev waltz into this hall and he sees red robes. And these concepts that we have, it's crazy. So she tried this regulated breathing technique, and she overcame all these symptoms. The first Delhi patient who got rid of COVID, he said that this pranayam has helped me in the breath, because the COVID symptom affects the respiratory system. It's just brilliant that if even in today's generation, with all this research available, we still do not adopt this. And somewhere we are missing the boat, right? Third secret, right? So now again we spoke about this breath has another very, very interesting correlation of the mind, right? Now the thing with the mind is, it's very hard to control the mind at the level of the mind, right? You're at work and a professor says something to you, or your best friend says something you did not like, or as your dean says something to you, or at home your child has said something you did not like. Have you seen how your mind gets stuck to that incident, right? You find it so hard to move on. Kuch aur chal raha hai to dhyan nahi ho raha. Even if you're correcting the paper, man mein wahi chal raha hai, that in the morning he had said that to me. Right? Class chal raha hai, the lecturer is saying something, and your mind is that my friend had said that to me. Right? So these emotions that are so difficult to handle at the level of the mind, surprisingly, this is the third secret I want to share with you, that your breath is also the remote control to your mind. It is mind blowing that with every emotion that you experience, your breath changes. Right? When you are happy, right? I hope some of you are dating and you have not met your partner in a long while. So I'm really hoping that this lockdown opens up and you can finally go and say hi. So when you are given a rose, have you seen how you smell that? When you're happy, your breathing automatically deepens, right? When you're feeling sad, the exhalation becomes pronounced. English, there's a word sigh, right? It is just that it's trying to put a word on that outgoing breath, sigh. In Hindi हम कैसे बोलते हैं, हाय मैं ही मिला था भगवान आपको और कोई नहीं मिला, right? Easiest when you're angry. जब आप गुस्सा होते हैं तो आपने देखा सांस एकदम तेज हो जाती है. With every emotion your breath is changing, right? This is, I think, the most well kept secret in this world, which only has been given access to actors and actresses. Now in acting, when you do method acting, they have a full curriculum as to how you can use the breath to mimic emotions. आप कैसे सांस के द्वारा कोई भी भावना पैदा कर सकते हैं. And method acting, you guys know this. Amir Khan ने जब when he was preparing for the role of Dangal, he actually gained weight so that he did not imitate that walk. So a lot of actors, they don't imitate emotions. So when you see that actor on stage feeling angry or on the movie screen, that's because he's actually feeling that emotion using his breath, which is why when Shah Rukh Khan is doing that pose, you're so drawn to it because he's really feeling that. Right? So this secret is now available and this is again taught on the Art of Living workshop. So मैं ऐसा नहीं कह रहा कि आपको गुस्सा आना बंद हो जाएगा. No, in this COVID lockdown, घर पे सब लोग बंद है. Just somebody says your name तो गुस्सा आ सकता है कि मैं सुबह से काम कर रही हूँ. Why are you disturbing me? But you know, जो गुस्से को हम पकड़ के बैठते that 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe days it takes, to come back. Suddenly, when you have the breath, you can come back to the center much faster. You get a handle on the emotions. You're being able to bend your emotions to your will. That emotions that play havoc with you, suddenly you can use the breath as a remote control and you can bend them to your will. Like it's like it's brilliant that I experienced and I wanted to share this with you guys. So these are the 3 secrets that I had to share with you. Of course, I've just given you a beginning. If you really want to explore it, I'll just quickly spend 5 minutes before I wrap up on what this workshop is about. So let me see, do I have a poll right now? Okay. I don't have a poll right now, so maybe I'll take a poll at the end. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed these 3 secrets, and let me move on to the next part. So it's not just that I'm sharing with you guys. Look at this, right? I know Narendra Modi kabhi tali humse thali bajwa rahe, kabhi candle jalwa rahe, and whenever I put him on screen, half of the people are Modi bhaks, the other half are like ye to desh ko bigar raha hai. As an army officer, I'm not allowed to have a political opinion, but I do know this for a fact that Narendra Modi is really one of the most hardworking PMs that we have got. And there are so many stories that corroborate that he gets up at 4 a.m., he's doing his routine. So in this photograph, what you see is Narendra Modi doing the Sudarshan Kriya that is taught on the Art of Living program. So he and his full cabinet of ministers have done the course, they practice this. He says, I've taken great benefits from the practices and felt increased productivity and strength, right? So cricket fans over there, I know I'm missing IPL so badly, but you remember just Sri Lanka team had gone to Pakistan and there was a terror attack. So suddenly, this happens in the army also. This Art of Living course is also taught in the army a lot, because when you see that kind of an action, so again, this is also a result of fight or flight mode, by the way. Your body forgets to switch off the fight or flight mode is when you go into PTSD. That post-traumatic syndrome is basically your brain has forgotten how to switch off the fight or flight mode. So you're always feeling that somebody's out to get you. So they said that he was like the entire team was not being able to sleep. And he says, after doing the Sudarshan Kriya, I finally felt normal. Right? The entire team has now found a new direction to be dynamic and relaxed. Brilliant, right? Now, Lara Datta, she won Miss Universe when she was 21. She was a goodwill ambassador for UN. Plus, there was Bollywood. Now, this is a classic example of success is not equal to happiness. You look at Deepika Padukone, Alia Bhatt, all suffering from depression. You hear cases of actors and actresses doing suicide. That dopamine, like forgotten how to secrete serotonin. Thankfully, I had done the Art of Living program when I was at college, which helped me be stable throughout. Right? Amish, Immortals of Meluha, you guys know about this, right? So so you guys will have to give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to share this. Yeah. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, good to go. Right. So I'm back with you guys. Right. So now suddenly, if you see that Amish Tripathi, why I really like to share his example is that he has this very interesting thing to say that I wish I had done this course earlier. So this is again something that I get a lot, that I wish I had got this course earlier. And this course, if you guys want, before that, there is AICT. This is not concerning you guys because this is the body that takes care of all the BTech degrees in the country. So he says that if all the students of BTech, we are doing this course as a part of their induction program. Google, Mark Ball, he's a senior associate training. He says that we do these art of living workshops for our Googlers every quarter. So it's just brilliant how this is working. And even when you do this course, you are getting a certificate. So right now, if you really want to explore more in this, if you felt this is something you want to do, this workshop, we are doing it specifically for SRCC students, right? We have created a course. I will be taking this course for you along with the trainer Vishesh Deep. I'll also introduce him. So now this course is it's 1200 rupees, which really is like, I think it's peanuts for what this course has to offer. But we have a registration fee, and this course is happening next week. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It'll be happening only for the SRCC students. So it's going to happen in the evening from 5 to 8 p.m. A lot of you people, I'm sure you've heard it. We have this Yes Plus course, physical course on campus, which is 2500 rupees. Very interestingly, right now, if you register for this workshop, we are only doing it for 50 seats because we want to have a one-on-one interaction with you guys. I'll be training you along with Vishesh Deep, who's also a teacher in SRCC. Like, he's an art of living teacher who has taken these art of living courses in SRCC. So right now, if you register for this course, you will also get this 2500 rupees physical course. You'll be able to upgrade to it free of cost. Okay, so like this is like 3700 rupees value. Already you're getting at 1200. And I also mentioned to you about Vishesh Deep. So he will be teaching this course with me. Now he is an engineer from IIT. He's a TEDx speaker, and this guy is like, you should just see him. Like, if he takes a course for 100 people, at the end of the first day, he's memorized the names of all the 100 students. He knows every person by name. So he also has this workshop called as a mind, memory, and concentration, where he's talking about these hacks into memory. In fact, a very interesting hack of the memory I'll share with you guys. When you look at the fight or flight mode, what happens is that it delimits it suddenly inhibits your memory, right? So for example, if you're studying, I don't know, maybe a subject like law, right? For a BCom student, you might have law or some very heavy macroeconomic stuff. So on the day before the exam, when you're stressed out, your body is in fight or flight mode, and you read something, it's possible that when you start giving the exam, that this question, you know this question, but the moment you go to write it, you go blank. You remember it was on page 56. Behind that, that photograph, I was wearing a red t-shirt, there was a glass of milk, but what the hell is the answer? I know this has happened, right? Because fight or flight mode, it deactivates your memory, right? So, and then suddenly the moment you hand in that paper and come out of the classroom, oh right, this was the answer. How could I forget? Kal raat ko hi to padha tha. So this is that how you can hack into your memory. So he takes this workshop as well. So right now, we were discussing this. So you're already getting 3700 rupees value, but for these 50 people, because we are taking this session for you. So if you are going to be registering for this course, you will also get this course. You will also be getting the mind, memory, and concentration course that Vishesh does. It teaches you brilliant things about the memory. You will also get this complimentary. I know that you might have some decision about this. So if you want to reserve your seat, you want to do this program next week, please do drop a text SMS to this number 99530 Believe me, guys, I cannot stress enough as to how important this course is, how important to deal with this mind. When I designed this poster, I keep saying this, that this mind is the most powerful tool available to you. If you know how to hack into it, it's like the best tool at your disposal. And if you don't know how to hack into it, if you are going to be it's you're going to let the mind rule over you, there is no worse master. So I hope with this, you can come. I always see that whenever, okay, great, Rahul already tells me that 25 people have already messaged him. That's fantastic. So great stuff. I see this is going. I only have 50 seats, so please do register your spot right away, because after that I'll not be able to take more registrations. Usually there are people like this on the call who always say, "Yeah, this is it. Right? This is so great, and I want to do the course." But there's a small section of people who also say that, "Okay, this is really good, but right now I don't have the time. I've got my exams as a faculty. I've got things to do." If you're in that mode, believe me, it is a lot of times it's just the dopamine speaking, because you're always very busy and not so productive. See if you can take out the time for this. It's just 3 hours and 4 days, right? So it's just 3 hours and 4 days for this workshop, and if you can come ahead and do it, it will be a great decision for you guys, right? So with that, I am done. I'll just quickly go back to the registration link. It's tiny.cc/bmwsrcc. When you go here, a website will open up where you need to enter your details, and you can just play register, and you'll be given a payment link where you can go and pay 1200 rupees. Trust me guys, it's just 1200 rupees, this kind of value. I hope that I will see all of you on the workshop. Okay, Rahul says 40, I've got 10 more seats to go. In the meanwhile that you are doing it, I'll just move on. अगर आप लोग इस समय घर में ऐसे बैठे हैं, you're looking like a couch potato, just watching Netflix because we were discussing Netflix. Remember, this is the only time in the world where you will be called a hero for sitting on home and watching Netflix. Right? You're saving the world by being at home. Even right now, I don't know if you saw the news, there was this Indigo flight where one person was COVID positive. So the entire 100 passengers are now being grounded, and it's just a nightmare to trace them back. So, enjoy it while you can. If you're being very stressed out, it's just another 2 or 3 weeks when you can sit at home and be called a hero. So you might as well enjoy it while you can. Thank you so much. From here on, I'll hand over the call back to Shikha ma'am. And if there are any questions, I can take them up.
Thank you so much, Cap. Oh, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you so much, Roy sir, for such an insightful session and for such an amazing meditation session that you took in these 10 minutes. I'll straight away jump to the questions. There were a few questions that we collated from the participants. So the first question is, what are the possibilities of unlocking our mind from all the negative thoughts that we are having right now in this situation?
Sorry, can you just, one second, can you just repeat that question? I lost your audio in between.
Sure. The question is that what are the possibilities of unlocking our minds from all the negative thoughts that we are having right now in this current situation?
Right. What are the possibilities of unlocking your mind from the negative thoughts?
From the negative.
So see, I've already given you the tools and techniques, right? So you have to look at the source of these negative thoughts, right? These negative thoughts are usually a result of your brain being in fight or flight mode. Remember, when you're in Goa and you're enjoying that beaches, or you're sitting in Tito's, you're sitting in a shack, you're not really bombarded by these negative thoughts anymore, right? So really, that negative thoughts is an equation of you being in your rest and digest mode and not letting this fight or flight mode grip you. So meditation is one answer. Once you start meditating, you start realizing that you're more and more spending time in the rest and digest mode, where you're chilled out. Their problems are not going to go away, but you suddenly become chill about them.
Right. Thank you, sir. The next question comes from a student who asks that how to deal with self-criticism and self-loathing while doing one's work.
Right. How to deal with self. I know this is a big question that a lot of students have. So again, this is, if you see, again, this is, I've already explained this. This is your fight or flight mode once again, right? So every time you want to go into stage, every time you want to do something, so there is something called as a comfort zone, which you are comfortable doing. अपने दोस्तों के साथ हम लोग रजनीकांत बन जाते हैं. You can do anything and everything. The moment you start putting a new person in the mix, suddenly you start losing your naturalness, right? You become unnatural. You suddenly start behaving. So if you've seen Friends, the way Ross, behaves, or even in college, एक नई लड़की आ जाती है, have you seen the way your behavior changes, right? So this is what irritates you. Like when you're going on stage, why can you not be comfortable? Why can't you achieve them? So it is a nature of your intellect. So there are 7 levels. So there is this intellect level in your mind where it constantly doubts you. right? This intellect has the tendency to not to doubt only the positive. So whenever somebody comes and tells you that, I love you, you're like, क्या चाहिए इसको, कुछ तो इसको चाहिए, इसलिए मुझे बोल रहा है. The same person, when he says, listen, I hate you, you hate me, I hate you first, I knew it, right? So this tendency of the intellect to doubt the positive is what creates the self doubt, because you मैं कर सकता हूँ, you are very sure of what you can't do, but where it comes to doing, you're like, नहीं, मैं शायद से नहीं कर सकता. So once you start addressing this intellect, you will start seeing your confidence come back. Believe me, it's there in you. As a 5-year-old, we have been able to do anything and everything, right? Dance kar rahe the. The sun is there. It's just that those clouds have come in. You come on the course, you suddenly see that those clouds have vanished and that sun starts shining through. Yeah.
So as we can see that meditation is a way to achieve a lot of things. So we have in fact a lot of questions which are very similar, and I think the answer to all of these questions is same. We have questions like how to control the flow of your uninterrupted thoughts, how to stay calm in frustrating situations, how to keep your mind in control when it goes out of control. So yes, I think I am not asking these questions one by one, because as you rightly mentioned and you also made us experience, meditation is one of the keys to achieve a calm and relaxed and mind which you can control and keep in a very secluded place, right? So there is one question which comes from a faculty, and it says that, is it actually possible to change one's mindset? If yes, then how?
Okay, so this is very nice. So whenever I give this talk, I'm glad I'm getting these questions. So whenever I give this talk, people say, "Yaar, 30 saal ho gaye, 50 saal ho gaye. How do I suddenly change my mindset now?" Right? So so first thing to understand is that this is not something crazy. These are just biochemical reactions in the brain. Your mind is an equation of these neurotransmitters. But very simply speaking, just because a room has been dark for 50 years, it doesn't mean it will take 50 years for it to bring light. All you require is that spark, right? One candle, one matchstick, and suddenly the room has changed. Believe me, if you feel that way, come on the course, sir, ma'am, just experience this Sudarshan Kriya. You'll see that light up in your mind, and the mindset can just change like this.
Right. Thank you so much. I'll just take one more question and then we'll wrap it up. So the question is about relationships. What track should we take in case our relationships go sour with someone with whom we have been with for such a long time?
Right. The classical this thing, that if you're broken up, basically the sawal is ki if you're broken up
Yes.
in the same class, how do I deal with that?
True.
Been there, done that. But so basically, like I said, this is an equation of the men. So it's not that you're going to forget the person overnight. That's not going to happen. But what happens is that obviously it takes some time for this. So that whenever you're thinking of that person, that thought is going to come, because now it's a part of your life. You can never suddenly forget and cut off. I know you wish you can, but you cannot do it. But what can change is that emotion that wells up whenever that memory comes to your mind, that can change. So you're thinking of that thought. So when you're going in the past, you might feel anger, you might feel regret. This is what usually happens now. देखो आप कैसे करते हो, अगर कुछ सिचुएशन आया भी, तो यू विल बी रीप्लेइंग दैट कॉन्वर्सेशन. मुझे ऐसे बोलना चाहिए था, मुझे ऐसे करना चाहिए था, अगर मैं ऐसे करता तो शायद से ये नहीं होता, राइट? सो दिस दैट थॉट सडनली, इस ख्याल को हम क्या करते हैं, उसका ख्याली पुलाव बना देते हैं. We keep
Yes.
chewing it, and then that thought becomes an emotion. Now this is the problem, right? So now when you're doing the Sudarshan Kriya, what happens is you're being able to clip this. You're being able to click this tendency of the mind to chewing on the thought. So you let the thought be as a thought, and then that emotion is not associated with it. And then you are living your life in the present moment. So experience
Right.
this now. Yeah.
Yes, this recommendation and suggestion comes from experience, true. So thank you so much, Captain Roy, once again. I would like to hand it over to Dr. Shikha Makkar for the formal delivering the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Captain Roy. It was really nice listening to you, and thank you for sharing the secrets with us. And also thanks for giving us a hands-on experience on how we can actually feel the breath and learn a lot from it to be a lot more calm. I would also like to thank Dr. C.S. Sharma, our coordinator of IQAC, and the team, Ms. Varda, Ms. Suman, and Mr. Gaurav. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the session today. Thanks a lot. I hope you liked it. Please log in tomorrow at 4 o'clock sharp for the next session, which is on yoga and meditation. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye.